Hello and welcome to Team Liquid's strategy guide series for Liberation of Undermine. I'm Eiya, and today I'll be breaking down the mechanics and strategy for Gallywix, the Chrome King. The first thing to determine when approaching this encounter is who will carry and deposit the bombs dropped by the 5 technicians in Phase 1. Classically, mages do 1 through 4 and your Drakthir Protection Warrior tank does the 5th. Most guilds don't have this exact comp available, so note that the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd bombs are relatively easy to do on any mobile spec, while the 4th and 5th bombs are harder. On both 4 and 5, the platform that allows you to walk near the controls does not exist. Classically, a mage would slow fall themselves, alter time on the main platform, jump off, and alter back. The Prot Warrior would also slow fall and Drakthir glide to bring the bomb close enough to the controls and then get rescued or live gripped back onto the main platform. Some replacements that make sense are Havoc and Vengeance Demon Hunter, Warlock, Evoker, Monk, and Rogue. We recommend giving people doing bombs Tiger's Lust when possible, and for difficult sets like 4, looking to give that player an external life like Life Cocoon, as they'll be out of range of healing for some time. Let's return briefly to the beginning of the encounter now that we have determined who will pick up and deposit bombs. In Mythic, we play the heroic intermission at the beginning of the fight with an additional mechanic. Shortly after he begins his total destruction channel, he will create electric links between him and each player. The further away you are from the boss, the more damage you take from his link. Note also that players inside your electric line take its damage. Take a look at this assignment graphic. Note that his initial landing location is baited by players and there should be a gateway for a mobile ranged. Disc Priest, Resto Druid, and Demo Warlock will be coming into the rotation later to allow them to complete their ramps before moving for the rest of the intermission. Tanks will ignore the beam mechanic as it does not do enough damage to be relevant for them. Obviously, your assignments will be slightly different, but you can use this template to get things moving for your team. Once you break his shield and interrupt his cast, he begins Phase 1 and spawns 3 adds at the nearest platform. 1 Technician and 2 Warmongers. The Technician needs to be kicked. A 2-player rotation will be fine here. The Warmongers need to be soothed. You can use Monk, Hunter, or Druid here. Be snappy with these, as the Enrage is dangerous for the tanks. It's important that you prioritize Technician damage throughout Phase 1. If the bomb is down before the beam finishes, the assigned player can grab it and be in position to charge the bomb, 3 orbs required, and then dunk to minimize the damage the raid takes from Giga Coils. Note that every player is a valid target to bait the Giga Blast beam except Blaze targets. As a result, Blaze players should move away from the group while the rest bait the frontal so that they may more easily find a safe spot after baiting. The first canisters of the encounter will come shortly after, and there are a few ways to approach assignments for this mechanic. We think the easiest way at this point in progression is to have your Disc Priest or slowest healer stay out if they receive the healer soak and split it between the tank and rogue, and have the rest of your players not doing a tank mechanic or a bomb split themselves into the 4 soaks. Only 1 healer should be in each soak with this method to prevent triples. Note that the 4th canisters of the encounter are different. Referred to as the Wombo set, as players get Blaze, bait a beam, and canisters start activating all in a very short period. To negate this, players with Blaze should move towards or behind the canisters while the valid frontal targets bait the beam. Once the beam is baited, players should quickly get into their canister. Mages, Rescue, Void Elf, Demonic Circle, and other such effects can help create consistency here. It's important that during suppression, players move together to make it easier to avoid the fire swirlies. Note that the fall-off is much more aggressive on Mythic than other difficulties. After the 3rd bomb is deposited, a larger set of adds will spawn closer to the center of the room. 3 Warmongers and 2 Technicians. At this point, the Protection Paladin usually drags one of the Technicians away from the boss and covers its kicks. The purpose of this is to delay its time of death, as the duration of the 5th bombs begins after the Technician dies. Ideally, you have more than enough time to be flexible with the 5th deposit. Remember, there are 3 Warmongers on that ad set which all need to be soothed. The Technician near the boss should die during or after this suppression. It will need to be picked up by the 4th bomb carrier. Ideally, the following beam is baited towards the outside of the arena, making it easy for the 4th player to charge their bomb and detonate it. Note that this is the bomb that requires the most distance traveled if following the liquid movement. After dunking the 4th bomb, you will enter the intermission. You will need to assign 3 ranged players to kick the sentries once, after which their cast may no longer be interrupted. In this first intermission, there will be only 2 ranged sentries, and in the second, there will be 3. It's important that these adds die before their protected cast begins. Devastation Evoker and Shadow Priest do the most damage to these, but feel free to assign a Combust or Warlock to damage these adds if necessary. For melee, in the first intermission, you will want to start right off the line on the floor and wait for the beam to pass, then cross over before the floor becomes electrified. We will use a pressing roar and 3 stuns to prevent the melee adds from casting. Note, only stops actually disrupt the cast. If you have access to Disrupting Shout from Prot Warrior or Silent Sigil from Vengeance Demon Hunter, you should of course use those abilities before stuns. It's important that these adds die quickly, and in the second intermission, you should be holding your cooldown and potion for them. In the first intermission as melee, you never have to move into the second ring to dodge the beam, as it will stop moving before forcing you into the electrified zone. In the second, you will have to move into the middle ring to dodge the beam twice. After the intermission, you'll enter what Blizzard calls Phase 2, and Gallywix will function the same for the rest of the encounter. The only change is losing a fourth of the room before the second intermission and playing the end of the fight in the last quadrant. In Phase 2, we need to assign left and right soakers. You can choose here to use 5 or 6 players. Note that the Healing Absorb is a shared pool between all players and increases with the amount of players soaking. Recall also that the minimum number of players is 5. Liquid chose to soak with 6 players for consistency. In Velocity's progress, we chose to use only 5 with assigned backups. So with 6 players, the initial hit is smaller, but the Healing Absorb is bigger, while with 5, the initial hit is bigger, but the Healing Absorb is smaller. Personally, we think either choice is perfectly acceptable. If you are soaking with 5, it's more important that every player has a personal or even external. Note that in both scenarios, the second soak on the left and third soak overall has a very dangerous overlap with blazes. You should plan immunities like Aspect of the Turtle, Bubble, Spell Warding, and Cloak of Shadows on this set. Note that Life Cocoon is a short and reliable cooldown here. Ideally, we want melee to bait Giga Blast beams away from the play space during this phase, but since we cannot guarantee it, you must emphasize avoiding the sparks left behind as they apply a dispellable stun. Likely deaths in this phase are due to poor blaze movement, suppression, or taking too much damage from the soak frontal. Shortly after the 4th frontal soak is when you should be preparing to dunk the 5th bomb, after which you will move over into the last quadrant and begin the last intermission. Movement during this phase is more difficult and damage to the sentries paramount. Note that should a sentry cast be guaranteed to go through, the player can live fairly easily with a personal plus external. Once you get out of this intermission, it should be almost guaranteed that you kill this boss without any freak accidents, as it is a complete rinse and repeat of the previous phase with slightly less space. Take care when aiming the frontals so that you are not overly restricting the play space. Your emphasis throughout the entire encounter should be playing mechanics as safe and consistently as possible, as the damage requirement is extremely low. And that's it! We hope you found these guides useful. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, feel free to leave them below. Stay tuned for the next tier. Well done, and we'll see you next time. Bye!